Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this module where we are going to look at the practical applications of the level of detail calculations. Now, you've come to this video because we want to answer a few questions. Now, before we get to answering some of the questions you might have in your assignments or even in your work where you're trying to answer those questions, you'll have to set up your data in a particular way. Now, the first thing, let's look at sum of sales. All right, that's the field that we are going to be analyzing. Now, I want to take a look at the sum of the sales by category. So I'm going to take the category field and put it in my rows shelf up here at the top. And you can see that there are three categories that are coming in. That is furniture, office supplies, and technology. Right? Let's make it a little bigger so that everybody can see clearly. So furniture is 742,000, office supplies 719,047, and technology at 836,154. So those are your three sums of the sale. Now let's take a look at another field. If I wanted to take the sum of the sales, I wanted to view it, but not with just the product category, but I wanted to look at by region. So in our database, I'm going to now take the region field and replace my category. Actually, take category completely out. So again, here I have four categories, four regions, that is central, east, south, and west. So we have those numbers that are 500,000, 678,000, 391,000, and 725,000. I hope you've taken a quick note of these numbers, and you might be wondering, why am I stressing on the fact of these aggregate numbers? The reason is we're going to take a look at some complex ways of looking at the data from different angles. And the two angles we are going to choose is the region and the category. Now, let me pull back category in as a secondary measure. You can see here that the numbers have now changed. So the sum is, even though it's in the central, you've lost that level of detail where now it's gone to the category level, where you can see the sales are now showing different numbers. So now let me take you to another view, which is by category and by region. But before we want to see it from these two lenses, we will have to apply what we have learned in the modules about LOD calculations. So level of detail, if we want to maintain a certain level of detail, so we don't want these numbers to change by how our data has been sliced and diced. We have to keep it constant or fixed, hence the keyword fixed. So I'm going to take out a calculation which is fixed the sales calculation by region. So I'm going to use the keyword fixed. I'm going to use a region, and then this is a colon, and then sum of sales. Now this calculation makes sure that irrespective of the view that you build and the way that you slice and dice your data, your value of the sum of sales is going to be by the region itself. The same way the calculation has been built for um, the category. No matter what, it's going to be remaining the same. Um, the sum of sales will remain the same um, no matter what the category. How does this work? Let me show you quickly. Let's take the region out. You have sum of sales. Do you see here? Sum of sales. Now this is the same sales raw field that we had from our database. Now let me pull in sum of the sales by category. And when I put it to text, exactly, these should match because you've only taken it from a particular level of detail and you've set that as category. Here, you see that uh, I've created a new calculated field that fixed. But now let me pull out the region That's the view that we had created, and then you will see what I was talking about. Now look at that. Did you see that the sum of sales, which got sliced and diced in a way, uh, with regards to its region, that is the central region, and you get that 163 number, but it still maintains that 742 because now you've brought in that fixed sales by category. So you'll have this number, which is for the furniture overall, which is the sum of central, east, south, and west. And the same kind of applies for each of the other categories. So that's the setup. Now, the big question, we've talked about 6 minutes into this video. Let me answer, why did we do all of this? In many cases, you will be asked about percentages of the whole. So let's say if you wanted to know what was the contribution of the central region in the total furniture, you will need a denominator. You'll need that denominator of that total furniture. So that is that 742. Now answering these questions about percentage contributions become easier, as you can see that you have ensured that the data has been fixed to a particular level. Now answering those questions becomes easy. So let me show you the first view that I've built, which is by category. So I've kept, now we've transitioned from our first view into the second view. So you have category, that is furniture, office supplies, and technology. You have region, right? The same way that we had built. And then we have the fixed sales by category. So 742, 742 by furniture, right? So it remains the same. It doesn't matter how you slice and dice it. This field will remain the same. But then you look at your original sales, which you got it from here again, these numbers are changing. And now you can answer contributions. For example, if I was asked that what's the biggest contributor to the sales um, in the furniture category, which region contributed that, your answer would be the West, because that's 252. In a similar way, if I was asked what's the lowest contributor to the sales by region to the technology category, then we will look at this particular segment, that is technology. The total sales, which is 836. Now, which particular region was the lowest? Then you will look at these numbers and come to the conclusion that the South region was the lowest contributor to the overall technology sales. Now, let's take even a step deeper, where we are going to flip the script again. And please bear with me over here. We are not changing much, but it will seem as if we have changed quite a lot. We are now going to look at by region. So instead, I'm going to toggle back again. Here we had category and we had fixed the sales at the category level. Now we have done the same, but instead we have done by the region. So now all the fixed sales by region, the overall by region numbers are constant. And then you have the sales by each of the categories that are contributing to the regions. So earlier we looked at the regions that were contributing into the category. And now we are looking at the categories that are contributing into regions. Again, the application, a strong application remains like, how do you calculate those percentage contributions and have your denominator fixed so that your calculations do not go haywire. This is a very important application. This has consequences, and a nuanced understanding of these concepts remain integral to giving accurate calculations and accurate analysis of your questions. I hope this breakdown is clear and you can answer more questions and more nuanced questions. Similarly, we can use different, dimensions. We can use different kinds of fields to slice and dice. We did it by region and category and fixed it to category in the first section, and then in the second section we did it by region. But you can do it any which ways. I hope this is clear, and I look forward to hearing about your take on some of the nuances that you have seen or played around with. Thank you.